when you feel shame about yourself or your queerness or your sexuality, you deny and feel shame around education and finding out that there are other communities out there that will accept you, and you don't dare look for that. I would say to that young Mitch that there are people that will accept you, even if this community will drop you. There's always new friends, new relationships, new communities to have. If that's the case, and it's not always this little world that you're in, especially growing up in a regional town. It's not the whole entire world.
Yeah.
There's others out there, and I think just knowing that there will be a place for you it would make a difference. It would have made a difference for me for sure.
So before we start this episode, we want to acknowledge that Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have been having yarning circles on these lands for thousands of years.
Yeah, and the land that we're recording these episodes on is the land of the Wurundjeri and Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nation. And so we just want to pay our respects to their elders past and present.
And acknowledge that there will be people, all of our listeners, that will be listening on various lands across the country.
Yeah, it always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
Queerfully made. Come on now, queerfully made.
Go willingly. You can do.
Welcome to Queerfully Made, the podcast where we explore the intersection of faith, sexuality and gender. My name's Aaron and I'm a gay man and ex-pastor from Melbourne.
And my name's Ben. I'm an out and proud gay man in Melbourne as well.
Fantastic.
Well, today's guest has spent many a weekend inside stadiums with fans that are lifting their hands, singing songs, singing chants, singing praise to the one and only. It sounds like a mega church, but it's not. It's the AFL. And Mitch Brown did something pretty remarkable last year. In August of 2025, he came out as the first openly bisexual player in the AFL, either current or former, medal winning or not. Pretty brave and pretty remarkable feat. And he joins us in the studio today.
Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Mitch.
Thank you for having me on. That was really nice. It was awesome. It's I'm looking forward to this conversation. I think it's going to be quite fun and insightful.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. We have a theory that I want to put out there and see what your opinion is. Just test the water, see if it's real.
What is it going to be?
The AFL and the church in Australia, probably the two of the largest closet building institutions in the country, I would say. You've got your experience, we've got our experience, both in different sides of those two institutions. Tell us, maybe from your experience, what are the rules in football that no one talks about that sort of build those closets?
Well, first of all, one of the biggest rules is to be a good footballer. I mean, to be a man, to be a good footballer, to be a strong one, you got to be straight. It goes further than just the realms of football. It's just a society thing around. They set a rules of what it means to be a man in our culture. That'll be the big one. I mean, football in itself, I was having this conversation with someone yesterday. It's like, if you think about it, right, tight shorts, tight fitting singlets.
Yeah, I love watching it.
And these people, they was in Sydney, right? So it was like NRL centric, and their minds were blown to the fact that most players, just before the bounce down, get baby oil put all over there.
Do they really?
See, did you know that?
How does the cameras not pick this up?
I know.
It needs to be recorded. I would watch that show.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, sign me up. Where are we going? Yeah, so it's like a very homoerotic kind of sport in itself, but it's so straight. And it's, from like waxing your legs and all those, stereotypes of what it's not to be a man, but these football players that they do that. Yeah. So
both my brother-in-law are mad, like they play footy. Right. Not AFL level, but I'll be asking them. Do you do the baby oil?
Do you do the baby oil?
Yeah, definitely. The second big one, I mean, I guess the softness, like if you like when you're growing up, if you're seen to be queer or gay or bisexual, you're most likely been a butt of a joke because you're soft or you're like, and football, strength means like high performance and you're a better player and toughness and mental toughness. And if you're weak, well, you must be gay. Yeah, and I think that's one of the other, big things that, just one of the big stereotypes that just is built into that culture of AFL rules. But, you're talking about, the church or these two biggest, what did you call it? Like institutions in Australia, football. It is quite similar, but I would
say the AFL is Australia's biggest religion. It's bigger than the church.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, and it's my experience, your experiences, and that they do. It's quite similar in all these different types of environments. It's not just I've got lived experience in AFL rules football, but it's quite similar to these other areas. In I guess for me, I talk a lot about hypermasculine environments. So for me it was sport, but for others it might be on the construction side or in the defence force or in firefighting. Got a lot of similarities between experiences for men and remaining closeted because of these set of rules that say if you want to be successful in this environment, firefighting or Aussie rules football, you have to do this, this and this. Yep. And being gay or queer is not one of them.
It's not one of them. Yeah. Not accepted.
Which is the same in the church.
Oh, 100%.
Like that whole, for men, there's masculine roles. There's a role that you've got to play. You're the husband, you're the head of the house. Like there's all this stuff that once you leave and you come out of it, you go, hang on, I don't know. And we've talked about it before, not being able to question that effeminate side of ourselves while we're in the institution, and now having come out of the institution, being able to play a little bit with makeup and
all of it.
I mean, clothing. I met you when I was wearing some pink overalls and
really good.
a pink cowboy hat and some eye makeup.
It was the best.
And I think you were wearing glitter as well. Like being able to explore that is so different. Hey,
tight. Just on that, it's like one of the best things of coming out publicly now for me, and it's just one of these little tiny things that I guess are these little byproducts of just being able to be yourself and really be confident with that, is like being able to dress and express
however the fuck you want.
Yeah, I know, and no one questions. Like my partner Lou, we talk about it all the time. It's like probably that singlet's probably not that appropriate for this this wedding. You did wear it, but I'm like, no, I think I can. I'm expressing myself. I'm like connected to my identity. I can wear whatever I want.
I love it.
Just bring a jacket just in case.
I had a question about that actually.
Yeah.
That was my hard-hitting question. I was like, why do you hate sleeves?
I
feel like
you see his arms.
This is the only time that I've seen Mitch Brown wear a t-shirt or some sort of shirt that has sleeves on it.
Roll them up. It's funny. I went to...
You went to an awards night
with sleeves.
No, without sleeves. I saw a photo with you. What was the one with you and Leigh and Ian Roberts?
Yeah,
and there's you and like this.
With the singlet on.
With the singlet on.
Yeah, and
it's like a formal singlet.
And it was quite cold that night too. I was like, I'm gonna roll. And it was like crocheted singlet, so it was like
looked awesome.
Thank you. That night someone goes to me, you know what, my friends, because they were from Sydney, all my friends call you the arms. I was like, are you gonna see the arms tonight? I was like,
wow. Hey, if you've got it, flaunt it.
No, well, I don't know. Like, I feel comfortable. My journey of self-expression has entailed a lot of things like clothes, but it also has entailed tattoos.
Yeah.
It's just like rebellion. It's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to own it. I want to start being my weird, authentic self.
Yes.
And I felt like tattoos was like a part of that therapy towards really owning who I am and my identity. And I started getting them on the journey of these last couple of years of really owning my sexuality too. So they kind of mean a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I was
tell a story.
If I wear t-shirts and tops, I'm not showing these out.
The singlets need to be part of the wardrobe.
It is getting towards winter, and I know we're here down in Melbourne, and it's time to put the singlets away for the summer. Trust me.
Just a couple of jumpers, maybe.
Yeah.
On the like, we talk about the costumes that we get to play in now, right? That we are living this life, living our best lives as our authentic selves, and the costumes are. It opens up a whole different wardrobe for us, to use the closet metaphor.
Yeah.
Because I saw what you wore to Mardi Gras, or what you were dressed in for Mardi Gras.
It's fantastic.
What's it like playing with these new costumes now, like that?
Yeah.
Because I saw some of your posts, I think you were a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
But was that just because of the stage you were standing on, or less about what you were
I think
wearing?
all of it. I was just like, these experiences of, one day you get to have these lovely conversations like we're having now, and then the next day you're on, live TV, you're in a broadcast to a really important environment and event for the queer community, which you're only publicly owning for 3 or 4 months. Is a really nervous thing. It's
Sure.
okay.
Yeah.
But in terms of, when for so long in my life, I've just been wanting to express myself and really connect with music and dancing and just I don't know, just things about dressing and putting makeup on and all those type of things. And that when you can do it, and I had an opportunity to do it at Mardi Gras, and most of my life you fear what people are going to think, or your environments where the blokes or my teammates around you get into you because you've decided to put some tips in your hair or tried to put a new pair of jeans on that had maybe a bit of flair. They'll get into you, so then you go, oh shit, no, I don't like that feeling.
Right.
But then to really express yourself and wear the clothes that you want to wear and have wanted to wear for 37 years.
Wow.
And then you wear them, and then you see people's faces light up, and you see, wow, they're not ready to give me some, abuse or bullying me. They're embracing me. They're happy. They're going, wow, this looks awesome. And there's just, as a human being, that's just it feels really good. It just feels really good.
Do you ever get the other side of the conversation? In those environments like Mardi Gras, obviously everyone's there for the same reason. So you're hearing gee, that looks great. How fantastic.
Yeah.
Do you get stuff on the other side, in private messages and DMs or comments? Or have you learned to filter it out?
Unfortunately, I've and this goes with my partner Lou, because we both get all this, and I've got thicker skin. Mm-hmm. And I come from a place of privilege as well. So, I do get a lot of abuse every day, and but I still come from a place where, I've got a lot of love and a support around me, a lot. Organisations have reached out to go, we love you, we want to talk, because public, it comes with its good and bad.
Sure.
And there's a lot of people out there, and a lot of young people that are going through maybe coming out to their parents and not having love or support around them that I get to have. I'm not making it sound like it's, all red roses and that, but it's
But is that thick skin from the slurs that you have heard over the number of years, to get to that's built up the resilience, I guess?
Yeah, I think the thick skin is over time you understand that even just the importance of the continued conversation or the continued messages that I'm talking about mean to a lot of people. So it helps to motivate you to go, no, that's okay. And you start to educate yourself even more around, hey, these people are throwing these things because of certain other factors in their life.
Sure.
And I'm not making excuses for them, but
it's still poor behaviour.
Yeah. And I'm not perfect myself. I think that helps as well. I've never, I'm challenging, the norm and how things have been for a long time, and I'm prepared to call out things, but I've never once said I've been perfect. And I've been in those shoes of many of those trolls. And, part of denying your sexuality is you conform to homophobic behaviour.
Yeah.
And being in environments where it's almost encouraged, in football clubs and locker rooms, it was really easy to to participate in that.
Yeah.
So I've come from those places, including misogyny and treating women poorly and all those type of things.
Yeah.
So like, you know, coming from a place of growth and, you know, from my own journey, it's like I look at some of these people, I'm like, well, okay, like maybe who are the ones, because I do care, like who are the ones that maybe I can meet halfway or meet them where they're at and have a conversation. Maybe they are a younger teenage boy that's been influenced by, you know, a harmful male role model in their life.
Yeah.
Maybe I can send them a little direct message to say, hang on, you know, what you said was, you know, really unkind. It's not really, and I don't think that's you. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
But there are certain other people that they're out there to, and it's so harmful.
It
and
is.
And just on that, and I know, and like Lou and I talk about this all the time, and I've had people from within the queer community really challenge me on this. I understand that every time that I do challenge, you know, say the AFL environment around their homophobic behaviour and really put it out there, and especially when whenever I talk about AFL football, that's when the trolls come.
Yeah.
When you come for
Because you're attacking their god.
yeah. When you come for them,
That's right.
they come. If I talk about something, they just no bad comments. It's like when you tack something that's so sacred to them.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, we don't want to change. We don't want to have that.
Sure.
We're going to mobilise and get
Yeah.
down. And so I know when I do challenge that, and I'm prepared to do it, it brings more homophobia up from the ground, and
Yes.
it becomes quite visible, especially if you're someone that follows me for, you know, just being a positive role model in the queer community, like so many others. You know, maybe they're there just to see that content.
Yeah.
But then if I'm also using the platform to challenge the AFL and it brings up more homophobic comments because these men are trying to attack me, then that can be quite triggering for the community.
Yeah.
So it's this hard balance of acknowledging that sometimes when you're trying to make progress in these hard spaces, it does bring to the surface some really horrible things that are quite triggering for the community as well.
I think there's so many similarities there to like I remember when I did the project interview around conversion practices and getting the ban put in place in New South Wales, the amount of hateful rhetoric that was coming at me through comments and DMs, whereas we post reels all the time from the podcast and they don't come out then. But as soon as you attack the institution or not even attack, as soon as you question or come at it with a, hey, let's think about this. Yeah. Let's think about this, the harm it's causing or whatever. As soon as you start to question the institution or something that they believe wholeheartedly, that's when it all comes out.
When it is so big, like both of our institutions that we're talking about, when they are so big and things have been done a certain way for so long, and it's really hard to move, and what those places are really good at doing, and not necessarily behind the front office or the administration of that, but more so the community that's supporting that environment. What they're really good at doing are putting you back in your spot. Yes. And I think the AFL environment particularly, and we've seen it with when other players have stood up against racism, or homophobic behaviour or misogyny, it's like they get embraced for this like split second. Oh, good job. But now we need you to go back into your box.
Yeah.
And I certainly felt that. It's like, oh, we embrace you, Mitch. Well done. You're the first, hopefully of many. That's great. But then once I started to continue talk, and then once I started to really challenge, right? Okay, cool.
Question things.
These are really harmful environments. That's when they were like, oh, nah, that wasn't the deal.
Yeah,
that wasn't the agreement.
Yeah.
Let's get back in your box, and now we're going to make you go back in there. I've really felt that as well.
But I love that too, that you and Lou have both made the decision to use your platform in that way. And I love that you say the more that we share so beautifully and openly and using your platform for good. I love how you described like the homophobia just rises, right? And it's just going to come out, right? But like, what does it mean for... Because that's a choice, right? You could just stay, living a quiet life, being on the sidelines. Like, what does it mean for you to actually take it one step further and to speak out and to call out different clubs in the AFL and the way things are, some of the behaviours that... Because we're still seeing it now, right? Like just recently. What is a 9-match ban for a second homophobic slur, like a second offence? Like, we're still seeing it blatantly today. Like, what does it mean for you to use your platform in that way?
This is a great question. It's like a really good question because it's something that we do challenge ourselves, and it's really hard. There have been times that we're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have done it. Why did we do it? Like, or we could have just announced it and played nice and then just rode off into the sunset. But I guess, we...
And there'll be people who would say, wasn't that enough?
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to keep going?
Yeah.
They say it to me all the time,
You're 15 minutes of fame, or like you're trying to stay... I say, well, hang on, no, I just, the one thing that people don't get is like, I really love this game. I love football, and I, more importantly... I've got, we co-parent, but we've got 2 young boys, 6 and 4, and I love them and I want them to grow up, whether they play football or not. It's not, for me, I want them to grow up in a world where they can feel like they can be themselves and allow the other people in their life, like their mates, to do the same. And as long as it's with kindness and respect, I want a world that they can do that. Because I felt like, although I had a huge privileged upbringing and a beautiful family, these set of rules that, didn't allow me to be myself in these environments like my school. I went to an all boys Catholic school and then an Aussie rule of a football team. And I just want something different for them. And, that's enough motivation to keep talking because of my privilege, I guess, I'm in a space where I can get these horrible comments and still keep going. I can get told, you need to shut up now, and still keep going. I can get called out by idiots taking words out of context and, misrepresenting me and mobilizing their homophobic audience against me, and keep going because I know, I have so much love and support around me, including my partner, that this is so much more important than, us. But in the same breath, it's exhausting as well. It's
yes.
And one thing I'm really, one thing that I have to manage at the moment is my frustration and anger.
Yeah.
Wow,
and I'm going to be quite honest about that. I am talking to someone about that because and I'm sure you both have been in the same position. It's like, I just want to there is this certain platform that I do have. I just want to get up there and say, just get so angry because things that I'm seeing and things that I'm just like, that's just not okay. And
it was only like 2 or 3 months ago, the ACC, which is the denomination of churches we were a part of, posted a video about the conversion therapy ban in Perth. And they were like, they're coming after us. And I was like seeing red. And I'm like, Ben, we have to record a response. I've scripted it. Here it is. We're going to react. And he read my response. He's like, no, we're not going to do that.
This is like, so you're me and you're my partner, Lou. It's like sometimes I get in the practice of like, I'll write a response or I type something out or I do a video and then I'll show it to Lou and I know Lou's going to say, nah.
Yeah, turn that down.
Because I know, because now I'm going to get this wrong and I'm not going to get it right, but Lou's younger brother, we were talking about this, like, do we, fight back? Or if someone said something back, like, do you get it? It's like, please, I hope you know the saying. It's something around a pig in mud, and if you fight it, you just get messier or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is that, is that?
You wrestle a pig in mud, you just get dirtier or something.
That's it.
Yeah. I don't think that's it either, but it's like that. Yes.
Is that it? I think that's it. No, but it's like,
We're thrown to the audience. You go.
so it's like these people want you to get angry.
Sure.
That
they want that
They
reaction.
want that.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
And because one of the best things about coming out publicly is being able to learn from so many other voices from the queer community and their experiences. And what I've learnt over the time is, these places like the head office of the AFL or maybe the church, if you come in screaming and angry, they'll just close the door and you won't be able to get around and sit around the table and even have a conversation in the first place. And I know for a fact, and I've sat in, not in sport, but I've sat in boardrooms where, this angry queer organisation, let's just say, just wants to have a chat to you, but it's like, oh no, they're just the angry ones. We want a more palatable person to come in and just make us feel not uncomfortable. So it's like this fine line of, and I hate doing it, but playing the game in a sense of going, well, hang on, I'm so angry right now, but I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to meet you where you're at and trying to have awareness and empathy around, maybe the organisation or the upbringing or the position you're in. And that's really tough because you are sort of laying down your swords and going, okay, let's chat, albeit in a real hostile environment. And
Armour down. Put that armour down.
Well, they're not going to listen to an angry. There's another pig saying.
Oh,
That I love saying.
Going to a really dirty place.
So when people come to me sometimes in the comments or in a DM and they're like I know they're not going to listen to me or hear me because they're just hateful and horrible. There's a thing that Jesus used to say he said in the Bible that's don't waste your pearls on swine.
On swine.
Yeah.
And so I tell them that, look, I'm just going to quote Jesus back to you and say, Jesus said, don't waste your pearls on swine. And that's how you're acting. You're the swine.
But we also talked about it with some other guests recently about like the energy that we give to some people is worth it. And there's some that it's just not. Like there are people that you'll be able to have the conversation with and they're open to it and they're happy to hear your side and like that can be an open dialogue.
Yeah.
And there are others that are just like, will not change their mind, doesn't matter. And we kind of talked about let's not waste time on the people that aren't going to, and are just going to keep yelling. And focus that energy on
the people who are movable.
The people that are movable, the people that have had, the people that, we spoke about, that you had a conversation in your office with someone that had shared a similar experience. Let's respond to the DMs that are, the people that have come out as a result of your story. Let's focus our energy there.
This is perfect. I think I feel the same way. And so I look at even just my own mates from school or my school environment growing up, and it's like, and there's, I grew up in a town called Ballarat, and there's a lot of gender-based violence going on in Ballarat at the moment in the last couple of years, and it's been a really horrible and hostile environment, but there are so many amazing people that are standing up to try and change that community for the good. But what I'm seeing is there's a lot of, and it is the biggest cohort of people that are remaining silent and not doing anything. And they are good people. They are my mates. They are like really, they know the differences between right and wrong. They know when, another person around the dinner table is saying something misogynistic and, they probably shouldn't say that. But what's happening in this biggest cohort of good people and good men mostly, they're not saying anything.
Why
and
not?
I think there's a lot of things, and I think the fear of being ostracized or
Yep.
being portrayed as weak or being called out or being uncomfortable,
Yep.
potentially getting trolls online.
Do you think there's a lack of knowledge that people aren't equipped to be allies almost? Like there's people who are genuinely, they're allies, they're good people, like you're saying, but they don't know how to be an ally.
Or just to even call
Yeah.
out bad behaviour. Like, let's just start there.
Yeah, it's really hard, and I know this because I've been in this place myself. I've been around many a times of Mad Mondays or the pubs or in locker rooms when I've heard the most horrible sort of language and conversations going on, and I sat there going, "Nah, this is not good," but I didn't say anything. And for a lot of us, whether in teams environments or in groups or in workplaces, there is a hierarchy. And, when you're sitting in there and that hierarchy or patriarchy is real and you've got mouths to feed at home or you've got, you rely on this income, it's like, well, I don't want to cause any trouble. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to, or I'm around this mates group and I don't want to be, not invited to the next thing or seen as weak or it's or like, oh, it's not here, like we're all good, there's no gay men around us, I know that there's so it's okay, like I won't call that up, I won't call that out. It's very real. So the fear's there.
It is.
And I've been in situations where I noticed, I just don't know how I came across it. I noticed one of our friends or one of our friends of a friends in Ballarat said some horrible things about me, and I screenshot that, and then I put it in a group chat with two of the most upstanding citizens that I know and my friends, and I just put it in there all together in the screenshot, including this person, and said, "Hey, is this serious?" question. And this was one of the times where my frustrations probably got the better of me and I shouldn't have
Happens to all of us.
put a group chat together.
There was Lou in all of this.
Nah, it wasn't, I don't know. And I just waited to see and there's been nothing said in this group chat. So
No responses from anyone.
I had one of the upstanding citizens, who's one of my close mates, reached out to me and messaged me and said, "Hey,
Separately, not in
but not." And I'm not like, this is just an example. Like they're they're beautiful human beings that, but they even found it. I'm assuming they even found it really uncomfortable to bring it up in the group chat with that person there.
Sure.
So that's an example of, the fear and the uncomfortability that exists around calling people out
And that's
saying,
for someone
this
who's
is not
straight,
enough.
out there. You mentioned before that you've been in the room when it's happened, and I've been in the room when it's happened back in the day. I'm sure you have. And then you mentioned earlier as well some of that survival mechanism that we go through as LGBT people in institutions like the footy or the church, where we participate in some of it as well. And you mentioned that before. Talk me through, that's just out of fear of being outed yourself, you think?
I think it's out of for me, it was the fear of not fitting in, I guess, and wanting to belong so I could be picked in the team, so I could live my dream of being not just an AFL footballer, a good one.
Yeah.
And there's moments in my life when I was younger that I've sort of started to maybe bring out some of these questions and I reveal themselves and test it in my environment, and it was like, oh no, nah. And that didn't feel good. It never feels good when you try and bring something so vulnerable out that you're scared of, and then it just gets a bad response and you bury it. And then because I'm privileged in I guess I was tall and I could play a little bit of football, when I started to go, all right, well, I'll play into these rules because it was so easy to. And for me, it was really easy to act straight.
Sure.
So easy. And in fact, it was rewarded in my communities.
Yeah.
The tougher I was, the less, I talked about my emotions or my feelings, the more manly I dressed, the the more straight I became, which also included, I could drink the most alcohol, I could sleep with the most women. I was rewarded for that within my social environments.
Yes.
And that in itself as a human being felt good in a place where you're just wanting to belong, like a high-performing professional environment like the AFL, and wanting to fit in so you can play. You're just, when the guys say, good job for doing that on the weekend, Mitch, because, whatever, it kind of like, oh, yeah, I'm in with the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it felt good. And then it's like, well, okay, then this is my path now because I'm getting rewarded. So I'm going to double down on my straightness, if you like, drink more, sleep with more women, and then just really try and get it out of me, or like lie to myself going, nah, no way. That's just a bit of the weird Mitch that I'll never bring out.
Yeah.
And
the more you put layer upon layer, the more the real authentic Mitch disappears. Hey?
And part of that is like playing into homophobic behaviour, and which was really easy to do, mind you, because it was just celebrated and embedded into everyday culture in not just football, but just in I went to the all boys school that I went to. It was just said on the hour basis.
Well, that acceptance and belonging and community is such a massive thing. We've spoken about it before, and in that, and then too, like my ex-partner, not from a faith background, challenged me. Wow, I don't understand why you'd spend so many years of your life in a place where you're not accepted for who you are. And I'm like, it's so hard to explain to him. I'm like, well, okay, where do I start?
You were rewarded.
But I was rewarded for that behavior. I did the same thing. I played the straight guy. Do you know what I mean? I had girlfriends. Easier for us in the church with that too, because
you can't have sex till you're married.
Right? So we did hold hands and kiss, which is great. I do that with my girlfriends now, So it was easier in a way, but you're still playing that role, and I was rewarded for the behavior. And as a result of that, the reward was acceptance, belonging, community, and it was beautiful. Like it was your chosen family in a way.
And for someone whose vocation was in that, like
that was
becoming
your
a
job
pastor,
as well.
the more you tick the boxes, the more you preached against certain things, the more people valued you, and the more of a platform you had. Like there was, exactly the same, that reward for that pushing yourself down and becoming the straightest version of yourself.
And there's many things of football that to this day I loved and I'm so grateful for. And it'd be the same in the church. And in my time at St. Patrick's College in Ballarat, I loved the faith elements of the day to day, and being grateful for being here, and even the food that we're having, and our parent having conversations in our RE classes around community and respect, and all those things are fantastic. Like it's beautiful, and I really enjoyed that, and what that did for our friends and our values, and helped to shape us and everything. But then there was just certain other elements was like, surely not, surely not.
And I feel the same, and we always say it, that just like you said, I love footy, and I still love footy. I still love the church. Like there's still elements of it that I love and I'm thankful for. Like I don't think I'd have the skills to do this podcast necessarily if it wasn't for the public speaking opportunities and having conversations. Like it helps. There was a whole lot of stuff around leadership and everything that it just helped with. So
I like, and because I'm not, spirituality in me, like I've gone, like I've never really had it, and I denied it, and then I'm sort of like, and then even that in itself, being, I guess, faithless, had brought on a lot of anxieties around life and death and all those type of things. Where do you go to next, or what? And
it's all not worth thinking about.
Yeah. No, but even and then when you have your own kids, it's like, hang on, how do you explain certain things? It's like so curious. It's like, I don't know. Like, I like to think that there is something out there, God or whatever, or some divine thing that, what I learned at Catholic school was probably someone's interpretation of what they think, and but I have the right to have a think of interpretation of what or connection with something greater than me is. And, you know, I've also done a lot of work in First Nations communities, and their way of knowing, being and doing is so beautiful in a sense, and
It is.
so community based and collective, and that's awesome. But something that I've really connected with most in around spirituality and how I believe is the point of everything.
Existence, life.
Existence is love.
Yeah.
And that's loving yourself and loving others. And
Agreed.
it comes down to that. And, you know, I'm not the perfect parent, and we're in this co-parenting, beautiful co-parenting environment. And sometimes we don't know what to do, but what we do know what to do is love.
Yeah.
Love for these little boys and love for each other. And
Yeah.
and I think that's the whole point of everything. And if you come down to it, and, you know, these conversations that I will keep having and challenging environments, it's not just for the queer community, it is for everyone.
Yeah.
And kindness and respect and love benefits everyone.
It does.
You know, it will wholeheartedly benefit the queer community about belonging and acceptance in these spaces where they've never been accepted before, but it also benefit everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we still have we're, I don't want to say journey, but I often think for the queer community, we use love as love.
Yeah.
You know, it was Lin-Manuel Miranda's Tony's acceptance speech, which then became, you know, the mantra heard around the world and was the slogan for marriage equality everywhere, which is amazing. But I think too, like when I see some of the challenges and the hate, the anger that's still in the queer community, I was like, hang on a second. If love is love and love always wins, where are we still needing to lean into love? You know? There's still opportunity for us to embrace that even more. That's just going to make our community so much richer. Because there's still loneliness. There's still people that feel they're on the outside. I'm not part of this community. I'm not part of that community. Like, how do I fit in? How do I infiltrate the queer community? It can be really intimidating sometimes. And I think love opens the door. You know?
Absolutely.
It's, you know, in some of these different communities, and like even in the First Nations communities, a lot of the infighting happens within the community, and that needs to be, you know, some of the most challenging aspects against First Nations people are within the community itself. And, you know, it's no different to the queer community too. And I've felt that. And, you know, there's certain aspects that I've, you know, learned and listened to over the way that, there's some people that don't accept others into the community. But hang on, like, you've literally not been accepted for so long by law and you know, all these things. Why are you now passing that on to these other people that and now have literally walked in your shoes? And it's I'm still sort of learning about all that as well, and that's very present. You know, and and I think and that's okay. Like it's not okay, but it's okay that even the best of us was always still trying to learn or find the pursuit of happiness and love and, you know, being better people and all those type of things. I think once you stop doing that, I think there's a problem there. The point is to keep pursuit for those things right until the end, you know?
Absolutely.
Tell us about your in the bisexual realm in terms of like in the alphabet, in the gay alphabet. You're in the LGB as the bisexual poster boy for the last little while. What's that been like? Because I think there's been attitudes in the queer community and outside of the queer community where it's like, bisexual, I don't get it. Are they just confused? Like, are they on their way to becoming gay, or are they, do you know what I mean? Are they, pick a side, I think is what they, you know, some of the rhetoric I've heard before.
That's been something I haven't expected, and it's real. And you know, today I've had comments from within the community about my bisexuality, and it's like, what are you? Or, you know, even just challenging because I have a woman as a partner, and it's like, well, yeah.
What message are you sending?
Yeah. You're just, you know, you're just gay, you just don't know it yet, or you just like.
Oh, really?
It's just like the way, and I know, I know everyone's different, but in my experience, my like sexual attractiveness, my sexuality is so fluid, and it, you know, I can't, it's not binary.
No.
It's not,
Yeah.
I can't, and I don't switch things off. And I can have monogamous relationships.
Yeah.
And you know, like us all, still be attracted to other people. Like,
Yeah.
Isn't
Well,
that-
sexuality is not a choice. Monogamy is a choice,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Like you choose to be
Yeah.
monogamous. You don't choose
Yeah.
whether you like guys, girls, both.
so
And
I don't know what do you want from me? Like
Yeah.
I do honestly. I'm attracted to both, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, what do you want me just like to lie and be?
How do I prove it?
like-
Do you want me to prove it?
Yeah.
Like, what
Oh, don't worry. I've had
see
fair
my
share of
browser history. Like, what? You know, like
Nah, just
crazy.
I don't know. It's just this whole thing around vulnerable people trying to, like, even just my experience of wanting to belong or trying to please people. I found myself in the past since coming out trying to convince people, you know, that I am. I am. See? No, but like it's real. And I talked to Lou about it, and we have our, you know, relationships, you know, full of open and honesty and trust and communication, and you know, it's beautiful, and we talk about it. And I'm honest with Lou that sometimes when I'm going to queer events or in queer spaces that I feel insecure. I feel insecure about my queerness in those spaces if I'm holding Lou's hand, who is a woman. Am I having people look at me and go, hang on, I thought he was the gay one, or, you know, maybe he's not, maybe he's lying, maybe he's just trying to do all these things. And then what I do is I let go of Lou's hand, and then I kind of overcompensate my queerness to try and fit into the community.
Right.
which is just what you were doing before in the football field, right?
I
Like,
know.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing. That's why like
and that pressure isn't.
Yeah, it's like, well, hang on, then I'm also doing it here in this space. It's like, well, hang on, Lou, let's take a breath. Like there's just that, but that's where like it's very real in the community around, well, hang on, to be in this queer space, we have our set of rules, and there is a sort of hierarchy that I've learnt that I think, you know, in the queer community we can all work on.
Yeah.
We can all work on. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Where do you see? Do you see the AFL changing in the next little while? We talk all the time, like, do we see the church changing? I want to know, do you see the AFL changing anytime soon? Do you think it's going to be a more affirming place?
Oh man, I'd love to have a queer pope, but wasn't it that movie? Yes. Short answer is yes. I do think the AFL is capable of evolving. 130 years. How long has the church been around?
2000.
Yeah. So,
You got 2,000 years to go.
but I think that, you know, that's the point. I mean, that really drives me and so many others. And I only sit in this position now because of the people that have come before me that have pioneered and trailblazed and have had to put up with hate and had to get thicker skins to be able to get it to a point where I was able to feel comfortable enough to, I guess, take the baton, if you like, and go, all right, now it's my turn. And
No naming names. That just made me think, without naming names, because I would never want to out anyone.
Yeah.
But have you had people who were ex-players or even current players who have said, hey, I'm in the closet and what I've seen from you is so inspirational? And
yes, yeah.
Wow.
No current active players.
Yeah.
One that tells me a couple of things, and I'm not like I would never once go assume that, hey, you need to come to see the head
you get
queer
my
first.
permission. I'm the guard at the gate. You can't come into this.
And I would never try and
No
pressure
one
anyone
comes
to
through
come out,
except for me.
especially if you're an active player. Well, like I sat down and had a really good conversation with Isaac Humphries, who's current player in the NBL basketball, and we're talking about, and we were both acknowledging the fact that it is much harder for a current player to come out, and he's one of those players, so he has an important role to play in this space. And whereas I sit back full knowingly and acknowledging my comfort in having played 8 years ago, and I don't have to turn up every weekend and think about my performance and then also think about, is it people going to yell shit out of me? And so there is that. But I've had definitely past players reach out. More than a handful
too.
Yeah.
You have Leigh that just recently came out as gay.
And it goes on like you talk about, will the AFL change or the progress? And I said yes. And, I was on this radio show the other day and they asked, the same thing. They were like, we, sat here 6 months ago and we were like thinking, this place, this AFL place is never going to change. And then there was you. And then there was Leigh.
And now there's Leigh. Yeah.
So like,
and there'll be someone next.
Was that radio show on Joy 94.9?
Yeah.
Syndicated partner, Joy 94.9.
Yeah, that was KFL. But yeah, I think there is. And, the amazing trailblazers. And I have so much respect for Ian Roberts. I mean, like in the 90s coming out and, he came out in 1995 and it was still criminalised in the state of Tasmania for being being gay, and then let alone the conversion therapies that were not outlawed in all these states since. So all those type of people, including the AFLW players, including Jason Ball, who came out in local football here in Victoria, and Danielle Laidley as well. I mean, they all played a role in these incredibly tough, hostile spaces, and I am now contributing to playing a role to make it a little bit safer for maybe the next person. There's myself, there's Leigh, maybe there's the next person, or maybe one day there'll be an active player and it'll be hard for that player. But I guess that's why there is a word that's made up that is, the definition of being a trailblazer is because it's hard. Sometimes I think does the space need to be ready for this player to come out? Well, this player might accept the responsibility and accept that it will be tough. But knowing that, hey, if this is going to be a safer place for someone that comes after me, then that's why it's important. And that's around custodianship, and I've learned a lot around what that means from our First Nations people, and around making this space better for the next generation, and like the generations before us did for us. And I think that's just so beautiful way to live your life. And to think, and that's around thinking about others more so than yourself in situations, and I think that's beautiful. And one thing that is a guiding star for me in this period of, I guess, being an advocate is trying to make this place a little bit better for the next generation. Not solving homophobia in sport. I don't think I'm going to do that. There's moments early on I was like, I'm going to do it.
Same.
I was like, I think they're important, but then I was like, this is not what it's about. And that's my role to be done, because I've met so many amazing. I keep talking about my privilege, but it's because I happened to play AFL football because I was strong and I was athletic and I could play. And in this country, we kind of reward that and reward people that played and put on that jumper. I acknowledge that privilege, that because of that, maybe some people may listen to me now. But there is also so many amazing other people like yourselves in the queer community that are just doing this same amount, if not more, and probably more impact and creating a safer place for these next people than I am. And I know that.
It's good to recognize. Well, I love the that you use the word custodian.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Because I've often thought about the leadership that it requires, especially for the AFL. Yeah. And I think back to the former CEO of the AFL and asked about, do you think there'll ever be a current player? And he was like, well, can you imagine being the first and the pressure that would put on that person and I'm like, yeah, but he kind of ended it there. And he missed this beautiful leadership moment to be like, but if anyone ever chose to, I'd be standing right there with him. And now they had the full backing of the do you know what I mean? There was no I'm like, where's the rest of that moment?
Yeah.
Why just stop there? Because of course, even if someone was thinking about it, hearing that from the chief, they'd be like, well, of course I'm not going to do it now.
Jeez, I mean, I'm just thinking about it now. Like, you put that into my head. It's right. It was really nicely put, to be honest. Because I looked at those and go, there's so many of those leaders are going, well, let's try to make this place safe, or it is safe for a player. I think it is safe for this player to come out. I think what is more important, because that person, that closeted player, they know that it's, you can never be a safe place, especially in these. But what I need is to have people beside me to help me through this time. And it's exactly what you said, Ben. And I think that'll have more of an impact for that player that's listening, that's sitting there going, is it safe? Well, maybe not. But if you have so much support and leadership around you, then I think it can be enough for that person to come out.
Sort of leads to my last question, knowing about time. But the last question I had was, I think the AFL and the church are very similar in that they're very all-consuming communities. I know my brother-in-law's family are like local footy club, and they're there all week, all the time. Like, their dad's volunteers to clean there, and it's just this community that you're so absorbed in, and it's the same as the church, right? They're all the time. It's sort of your whole world, and the fear of coming out in a community like that when it's not accepted is terrifying, because you feel like the only community I know is going to drop me, and so I don't know what I would do if I lost that support network. What would you say to young Mitch, or that player that could be coming out, or the person in the church who's like so nervous of, I'm going to lose it, my community, I'm going to lose the only people I have if I was to be myself?
Yeah, I've often thought about this, and there's different messages I would say at different periods of my life.
Yeah.
I'd say, to the 10-year-old Mitch, keep listening to Kylie Minogue. She's awesome. I used to hide. Yeah, my discipline.
What are you listening to, Mitch? Metallica?
Oh, it was a true story. I used to do that. But I would say that, for me, or for that young person, when you feel shame about yourself or your queerness or your sexuality, you deny and feel shame around education and finding out that there are other communities out there that will accept you, and you don't dare look for that. I would say to that young Mitch that there are people that will accept you, even if this community will drop you. There's always new friends, new relationships, new communities to have, if that's the case. And it's not always this little world that you're in, especially growing up in a regional town, or is not the whole entire world. Yeah, there's others out there, and I think just knowing that there will be a place for you it would make a difference. It would have made a difference for me for sure.
And I'm sure you've been surprised by people within the community that you thought would drop you that haven't.
It's a beautiful thing that you bring up. And, some of the best things about coming out is that very thing, is reconnecting with people from the past that I never thought possible to be able to have beautiful conversations around acceptance and belonging and relatability around this. And there's some other people that I did think I would have that I now don't.
Yes. Same.
That's been a beautiful thing. And you know, in these communities, and it's like also knowing that it's almost statistically impossible that you're the only one.
Yeah,
So,
it's not the case.
So, yeah, you're never alone. Although it does, you know, at times you do feel like that, for sure. And these communities, like, you know, church communities and local football clubs, they are environments. They are the template. They are actual potential vehicles to have so much beautiful love and acceptance and belonging. The tools are already there, especially football clubs in community environments. It can be a place where it can involve everyone, and it can be a place of, you know, love and connection and not feeling alone. I just think, you know, we can, you know, if we do some things, and it can be those places in the future. And, you know, it's not just making it perfect at the professional level in the AFL. It's these other spaces that, you know, and there's a lot of beautiful community clubs that are doing amazingly well, and especially in the country, that are allowing people to turn up as themselves and feel like they have a place amongst the people they live with. And even that in itself is enough for a lot of people.
I just really want to honour your honesty, not just from here today, but the way that you're showing up online as well, like with Lou and with Shay, and the way that you're telling your story, and the way that you're using your platform with all the challenges that comes with. But yeah, I just really want to honour the way that you're doing it, because I think it's a really beautiful representation of, and it's you know, visibility that people need to see of another window into our community, which is a really beautiful thing. So thank you.
And thanks for jumping on this podcast, even though you probably thought, well, I don't know how they really cross over, but I think today, and I think most of our listeners, especially young closeted LGBTQ people in the church, would go, wow, you know what, I'm not alone, because this isn't just unique to the church. It's most institutions will have some sort of play in this. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you to you both. I think, as I said before, that, you know, there's plenty of other people that are doing, you know, probably more amazing work than I am, and you both are certainly doing that. So,
well, no TV ads for us yet.
No, because
you can get us an invite.
Story to come on that one.
Watch this space.
Watch this space.